Back blast area clear. Firing, firing, firing.
That's a good hit.
Ready to fire? Back blast area clear. Firing, firing, firing. Ready to fire? Back blast area clear. Firing, firing, firing. Loading.
Clear and close.
Firing, firing, firing.
Oh, just high.
Firing, firing, firing.
Like this. That flash area clear. And then turn.
Firing,
It's really
firing, firing.
Alright.
Unload.
You fired it?
No. Back blast area clear. Firing, firing, firing. Wait, that's fine too. Tilt it back.
No. Top it that way.
Up.
There you go.
C grip.
Yep. Clear and close.
Yeah, I saw him before. Clear. Load. Loading. I keep thinking. Alright, you go, Gripen. Back blast area clear. Firing, firing, firing.
Bangkok on safe.
Ready. Ready. Ready to fire. Back blast area clear. Back blast. Well, not really, but back blast area clear. Firing, firing, firing. Unload. Unloading.
Way short. Better make sure you're looking
Bangkok
for your
safe.
sights right.
Jag har träffat jättemycket människor som aldrig har sökt och sen ångrat sig, så ta chansen även du. Det var Team 60!
We'd fly through the Baltic and look at Poland and Lithuania and Latvia and all those countries and go up around the top of the Baltic and come back out. What was interesting on the return side to the west, we were coming along Sweden and the Viggens would always try to come up and intercept us. The backseater would say, I got air-to-air interceptor off the right side. I'd look out and in 2 occasions I actually saw a Viggen trying to come up towards us. He was probably in the neighborhood of, I'm going to guess, 40 to 50,000 feet. And to simulate a shot at an SR-71, because he's coming on a side profile, he'd have to get his nose up ahead of us. And I actually visually saw a guy pull his nose up and fall off like that. So he couldn't quite, I don't think he could quite get the shot. And that was probably about 1982.
Steg man, tände efterbrandkammaren så man fick överljud, steg med minst Mach 1,2 emot den då. Och den gick lite varierande höjder men omkring 22 000 meter med Mach 2,2 kanske, eller ibland fortare. Var det en riktigt fin dag så såg man dem uppe mot det blå och vi gjorde alltså lyckade Robot 71-anfall på dem jämt med då naturligtvis fingerade robotar. Vi sköt aldrig något skarpt på dem. Och man såg den emot det här, alltså på den där höjderna då, vi säger över 16 000 meter, där är inte himlen blå längre utan den är lila eller svart. Men man såg alltid flygplanet och hade alltid en strimma efter sig utav deras speciella motorer som man kallar för rallmotorer, som är i princip som en efterbrandkammare. Som det krävs på den höjden. Och vi hade även våran motor krävde överljudsfart så att överhuvudtaget funkar på de här höjderna också. Sådana här insatser har jag gjort många. De kom samma spår varje gång, utom en gång när de fick ett enmotorproblem. Och fick gå ner över Gotland. De ville inte styra höger utåt Sovjetunionen utan de svängde vänster mot Sverige. Kom ner på lägre höjd. Jag var inte i luften där i det passet. Enda gången som de har kränkt faktiskt svenskt territorium. Men det var ju av nöd. Så det gick ju bra ändå.
arquitetura modular com que o Gripen foi concebida, ela é um sistema fantástico, porque permite à Força Aérea a constante atualização dos sistemas que vão ser utilizados, sem que você precise aguardar até uma atualização de meia-vida, como a gente realiza hoje em dia na Força Aérea Brasileira.
O caça Gripen, ele traz para o âmbito da Força Aérea Brasileira um conceito inovador de atualização. A Força Aérea Brasileira, até os dias atuais, trabalhou com o que nós chamamos de mid-life upgrade. Essas alterações elas demandam muito tempo, são muito custosas e tiram, por um longo tempo, de operação esses vetores.
There are a couple of key capabilities with the architecture. One is that the software is independent of the hardware.
No Gripen foi utilizada uma filosofia em que essa separação das funções que são mais críticas para a segurança de voo e para a certificação daquelas que são aplicadas no ambiente tático.
What we are talking about is to make the platform relevant over time.
A grande vantagem da arquitetura aberta é de permitir que sejam feitas integrações de maneira muito mais fácil, muito mais rápida, muito mais segura. E tem como outro objetivo também dar capacitação para as empresas brasileiras poderem participar de novos projetos no futuro, seja de caças tripulados ou não, ou de caças de geração subsequente à do Gripen.
Essa atualização a gente pode comparar com os sistemas de informática, né? As aeronaves de caça hoje elas são computadores com asa, e esse sistema modular permite essa atualização constante que faz com que a gente consiga manter sempre o avião com a máxima capacidade, com capacidade atualizada, e a gente reduz a parte de custo, uma vez que essa atualização modular ela se torna mais barata do que aguardar realmente a meia-vida da aeronave para se fazer uma atualização de todos os sistemas.
Pentagon believes that in the wrong hands, it could be a major threat to our security. It's a new class of silent submarines. And right now, one of the submarines is in San Diego, with our military trying to figure it out before somebody else does. Channel 4's Chuck Henry here now with exclusive details. Chuck?
All right, thanks very much, Paul. The threat is real, and it has the Navy so concerned that it's turning to the nation of Sweden for help. That's because the Swedes have really the ultimate in silent and stealth submarines. And tonight, one of those subs is stationed at Point Loma in San Diego. Now, earlier this month, we had unprecedented access to this Swedish submarine and its crew. So what you're about to see, few people have ever seen, certainly not in the United States.
On the surface, it looks like any other submarine, but the U.S. Navy says it could be the most dangerous sub in the world.
Being noisy is, of course, something that's dangerous for us.
Frederick Linden is commander of the HMS Gotland. He and his crew of 29 called the sub-base at Point Loma home. They came here to San Diego because the Navy is worried about this new generation of silent subs. The Pentagon leased the Gotland for 1 year, but has now extended that lease for a second year as they try to learn why this submarine is so difficult to find underwater. Subs have always had two weaknesses. They make noise and they can't stay submerged very long. But the Gotland runs on a high-tech system called Air Independent Propulsion, or AIP.
With AIP, I can stay submerged for weeks.
Not only can this submarine stay submerged for about a month, the AIP technology also makes it quieter than other submarines and almost impossible to pick up on sonar.
When the Gotland wants to be silent and undetectable, especially along coastal waters, there's no place it can't go. And that's one of the reasons it's here.
Since last summer, the Navy has spent months playing games of cat and mouse with the Gotland off San Diego. And time after time, the Swedish submarine has eluded its pursuers.
As an adversary, how good are you at what you do?
Very, very good.
According to Swedish newspapers, in training exercises, the Gotland has sunk our most sophisticated nuclear-powered submarines. But perhaps even more disconcerting, it reportedly sunk our largest aircraft carrier, the USS Reagan.
She's really run rings around our carrier battle groups.
Norman Polmar is a military analyst who specializes in naval intelligence. He says that since the end of the Cold War, the funding of the Navy's anti-submarine warfare program has been scaled back dramatically. As the United States funnels billions of dollars into the war on terror, countries like North Korea, China, and Iran are building or trying to get submarines like the Gotland. 2 months ago in the Persian Gulf, Iran tested a new anti-ship missile fired by one of its submarines. If the Iranians are successful in getting a Gotland-class submarine, it could pose a new silent danger to the vital oil tanker traffic in the region.
With more of these submarines being bought by countries that don't particularly like us, Iran being a good example, yes, there is a threat.
And the commander of the Gotland knows just how vulnerable the United States could be if a sub like his fell into the wrong hands.
If I was to look at our coast in North America, was there any place you couldn't go?
No.
No place.
And there is more. The Swedes are currently working on another silent submarine that can also survive a direct hit by a torpedo. But the United States remains committed to our nuclear submarine force, and there are no plans to develop a submarine or purchase one like the Gotland. The Navy says it just wants to know how to detect and kill those subs. Paul and Colleen.
the new President and Chief Executive of Saab, Michael Johansson. Michael, congratulations. You've been on the job for about a month, even though you've been with the company for more than 3 decades. And you guys have an incredible order with the Goldeneye. Talk to us about the order. It's for 2 aircraft, roughly about $1 billion, which is not bad business at the end of the day. But also what the order signifies as part of your strategic effort to continue building on the Eye franchise that's been so successful for you guys over the past 2 decades.
So right, yeah. I mean, 2015 we got the first contract on the Globaleye and the first 2 aircrafts, and then 2017 the 3rd aircraft. And today they announced that they intend to conclude the contract for 2 more aircraft. So we're in the final stage of negotiations. But the contract sort of allows for amendment to the contract initially from 2015, so I expect the sort of real contract shortly. This is a fantastic capability. It's a multi-role capability, a really force multiplier used in combination with fighter aircraft. So you would have a whole host of sensors that is fused in the aircraft in the command and control center, and you can work with it as operator in the aircraft, 5 operators, or you can send it to the ground. Of course, it's SATCOM capability, different type of data links. But in essence, I mean, you get the fantastic situational awareness picture. At vast distances you would see very small objects, both sort of in the air domain and the sea domain, at the surface of the sea and also at the land domain. So fantastic primary sensor on the fuselage of the aircraft. You have another radar sensor under the belly of the aircraft. You have an electro-optical IR capability. You have a full suite of really sophisticated EW with high accuracy, direction finding. So it gives you real good awareness of what's going on, and you can use your fighters in a dynamic way using this aircraft.
And what kind of market opportunities do you see around the world with this? Because it's a capability you guys have been developing and refining, as I said, over the past decades. This is obviously the most logical forward edge of that. How many airplanes, if you were going to put a number on what you think the market's going to be, where would you put that?
Well, it's hard to set a number on it, but the longer we go in the program, and the program is going really well, you see the aircraft behind me. This is the first time we bring it to UAE. We're on schedule. We will start deliveries shortly here. The further we get into it and flying it, of course the tension increases, but we see a great interest from Finland in combination with the fighter offer we have in Finland. South Korea shown an interest, a couple of countries in this region. So I easily see a plus 20 numbers going forward.
Here comes half stick, ready mark. Nice smooth roll rate.
Okay.
Release. Nice, we'll go back the other way. Aileron roll to the right, there's half stick. Nice read, easy to capture, wings level.
Through RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers, we aim every day to make sure you know what jobs are available in real time. A Swedish company is investing in a project at Purdue to make training jets for fighter pilots. RTV6's Elena Martella details the $37 million deal there at Purdue's campus.
It's an exciting day here in the Hoosier State. Saab has announced they are partnering with Purdue University to help manufacture these TX Boeing fighter jets, which will help create 300+ jobs here in West Lafayette.
It was a match made in heaven and a natural fit.
The plant will be in West Lafayette's Discovery Park District, just west of the Purdue campus, and the Air Force will use these TX Boeings manufactured at the plant to help train fighter and bomber pilots. Saab's CEO and president says the tipping point in choosing West Lafayette as its location is because of the ecosystem within the university and also the willingness from the governor and the state to push business.
Purdue, West Lafayette and Indiana come out well in the rank number one due to the ecosystem that we see and are used to have also, for example, in Sweden and other places. So we felt a little bit home here when we were coming and visiting and had a discussion with the people around here.
The plant won't only manufacture fighter jets, but will also use the partnership as an opportunity to expand and invest in research and development. Purdue University President Mitch Daniels says he's excited about the partnership and is hopeful it will attract scholars and students, as well as those who hope to eventually work for Saab following graduation. And the hope is to have all of this up and running by the end of 2020. From West Lafayette, Elena Martella, RTV6.
We used the Giraffe for the counter-rocket artillery mortar role, which was in Iraq. We've used the Giraffe for automated sense and warn role. We also used it in the air surveillance role, which we use in the UK.
We can deploy the kit very quickly, and we can also collapse the kit very quickly, which makes it very good at meeting timings in tactical situations. It's also very easy to service, so the maintenance, we can keep it operating in the field. It's good at handling off-road and on-road manoeuvrability, so we can deploy it more or less anywhere we can.
The Giraffe was primary radar in Afghanistan when I was there, giving vital sense and warn time of incoming rockets, and it was a real buzz to know that I was saving lives with this piece of equipment.
Transition to cruise. Hello Zero, this is 3-1 Alpha, now state 1 at Alpha 2.
Good ball. Nice shot. Very good. Yeah.
O Exército vem buscando materiais no mundo que pudessem ser empregados não só na área de combate convencional, mas que pudesse ser empregado também na área urbana. Os testes e na pesquisa de prospecção que foi feita, o RBS 70 foi o que melhor se adequou para que nós tivéssemos o emprego de um material de antiaérea de curto alcance num ambiente urbano. É fundamental o nosso suporte logístico integrado, né? Esse serviço pós-venda. A Saab, no nosso contrato de SLI, ela presta esse serviço inicial. Então, ela vem prestando aí um bom serviço para a qual ela foi contratada.
O 11º Grupo de Artilharia Antiaérea, orgânica da nossa Brigada de Artilharia Antiaérea, é uma unidade com emprego estratégico. Então o maior ganho foi ter a flexibilidade e a mobilidade estratégica que esse tipo de material emprega a nossa atividade operacional. Em função da flexibilidade desse material, é possível ser embarcado em aeronaves, veículos táticos, embarcações, que fazem com que ele tenha uma grande potencialidade a fim de cumprir a sua missão. Como uma brigada de emprego estratégico, nós completamos todo um ciclo de treinamento operacional em diversas situações específicas, como defesas antiaéreas de estruturas estratégicas, como hidrelétricas, fábricas, áreas de interesse nacional, assim como defesa antiaérea de tropa no terreno. A capacitação, em função do seu simulador, permite uma rápida adaptação dos seus atiradores e da sua guarnição. De 20 a 30 horas de simulador, eu já tenho o atirador em condições de operação. E no exercício de tiro real, nós verificamos a precisão e a eficiência desse treinamento, como é o caso da nossa realidade, do nosso exercício atual. Importante salientar que esse é um sistema de armas de baixa altura, que presta para aeronaves na fase final de lançamento dos seus armamentos. Então, nós estamos satisfeitos, o nosso grupo está satisfeito com o desempenho do material e ele veio acrescentar bastante a nossa capacidade operacional.
Está com facilidade na operação do RBS 70 dois quesitos. A sua montagem, que é bem simples, que é o acionamento do pedestal e o encaixe do aparelho de pontaria, e a própria operação.
Excelente, porra!
Thank you.